What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And on today's video, it is a very special unboxing. I'm filming this as of today. It is Father's Day 2025, and I saved this video for today because it has to do with my dad. So, if you guys have been following along on the channel, I always talk about my first live event that I attended, 12/26/86 at Madison Square Garden. Hulk Hogan versus Kamala. Of course, my man, Hulkamaniac Customs, Jason, made me this custom box set of the main event, Hogan versus Kamala. Had it signed at Hogan's beach shop in Orlando. I think it's called Wrestling Shop now. A couple of years ago. Check out for that vlog on the in the archives, as they call it. Of course, it's got the back, as that match is actually on YouTube. And then Jason got some pictures of the tickets and the match lineup. Made an unbelievable display. I actually have a whole shelf just dedicated to this event. Also at that event, back in the day, back in the 80s and the early 90s, I guess late 90s too, a lot of bootleg vendors outside of Madison Square Garden. If you're from New York, you know about them. I got this bad boy. Not my original, but this is one that I got. I forgot how it works. But oh, there we go. But it's a punching Hulk Hogan puppet. So this is on the shelf as well. Distinctly remember getting that. And I also got a bootleg program, which I've been forever trying to find. But I don't think I'll ever find it because I don't even remember who was on the cover. It was in black and white. It was maybe like 5-6 pages. So as this was my first event, it was also my dad's first event, so he really didn't know about programs and all that stuff. So that I don't have, but I did eventually find the program that was for sale that day, the WWF program. It was volume 142 with Jake the Snake on it. So back in the 80s, 90s, I believe the early 2000s as well, they used to give the match card, where it was, the time, all the matches, all that stuff, all that good stuff. They got away from that because, of course, they even got away from selling programs. I don't even think they do house shows anymore, which is mind blowing. So, of course, what would come with this would be a match card, and never found one. Couldn't find one on eBay. So there's a company. Let me get it right before I. Damn, I forgot their names. I do apologize. I was hoping it would be on here, but it's not. I'll try to find it and I'll put it in the description. They make custom match cards. You send them the date of the card, and they look it up, and they you can do different colors and all that good stuff, and they make one for you. So this is a custom match card of that night, December 26, 1986. We had of course, the main event, Hogan versus Kamala. I don't remember every match. I'm going to be honest with you. I do remember this one in particular, Hillbilly Jim versus Mr. Fuji in a tuxedo match. Remember those matches back in the day? Honky Tonk Man versus CV Afi. Man, Tito versus Hercules. And the main event was Blackjack Mulligan versus Nikolai, which we didn't see because I do believe we left early. Again, I was only 6.5. So we had to get back home. But that match is actually on YouTube as well, and I think it's only like 30 seconds. I guess they were over on time. The Hogan Kamala match, I believe, was right before intermission. Also, there's two things now. Not only the match card that I've been looking for on eBay, but a ticket stub. Somebody had a 30 or 40 lot of ticket stubs for Madison Square Garden and Nassau Coliseum, and it was in there. And the guy was charging like $400, and I think it was a weird number. It was either 29 or 39. So like if he took the one out, it didn't really mean anything. And I emailed him. I said, dude, uh, I'll give you $40 just for that one ticket stub, and he would not break up the lot. It was very weird. I don't know who eventually bought it, but that was the only time I saw a ticket stub for this. But thank God for stubforge.com. They make custom ticket stubs. So you put it in, you put all the details in, you put the seat number, how much the price was. Of course, I don't remember the seat number. I put level 302, which is probably where we were sitting. Uh, More of that later on. But if they were 302, they definitely weren't $19.50. They were definitely cheaper than that. But there you go. You have it. MSG presents WWF, Madison Square Garden, 4 Pennsylvania Plaza, Friday, December 26, 1986. Awesome. The fact that people can do this nowadays really helps out. So, need a ticket stub, need a match card. 2 weeks ago, I'm on eBay, and what shows up? The match card. An actual original match card from that day. They sent it in a paper envelope. So I know the condition in the pictures was not great because it wasn't like somebody saved it to sell it. I guess they just had it and decided to sell it. So let's see what's in the envelope. There's actually 3 things in here. It was a lot. Okay, so they put it in I guess it's folded. They put it in a priority envelope here. Yes, it is folded. Okay. So, in my last video, or 2 videos ago, I had gotten this postcard. The one where Earthquake beat up Hogan, and if you sent in the letter, they sent you this postcard. So now I have 2. So I'll be selling that. It was in the lot. Also in the lot was I'm not sure what newspaper this was. Wagner this might be for Staten Island or Long Island. But it's promoting Friday, December 28th. This had to be 1991, I'm guessing. Hulk Hogan and Tugboat versus Earthquake and Dino Bravo. That was the main event for Madison Square Garden, and I was actually at this show as well. So pretty cool, nothing crazy. I mean, it's a little beat up and everything. Piper versus Perfect, Texas Tornado versus DiBiase, Rockers versus Power and Glory. So you look at that. The highest ticket was $18. This is 91, so I can only imagine 86. Goes 18, 15, 13, 11, and $9. Could you imagine that? Wow, that's crazy. So pretty cool. I was at this show as well. This actually happened to be one of the holiday shows as well. But why I got this lot was for the 12/26/86 match card, the original. It is definitely not in good condition, but heck, I finally have it. Here it is. Whoever the kid was that had it, he circled who won and how did they win. Hogan won by disqualification. Honky Tonk Man won by pin. Pedro Morales by disqualification. Wow. And the circling and how they won, the writing, I mean, it really doesn't bother me because, I mean, if I would have had this when I was 6, I probably would have done the same thing. So it actually makes it better for me. So cool. Let's look at it with the custom next to the custom. And I'm so glad I picked, because you could pick green, red, pink, and I picked the pink, and it actually matches. Look at that. It is almost the same exact. Holy crap. So this company nailed it. Saturday's 11 o'clock. Damn. So that just shows you how good this company is. I definitely want to give them a shout out. I'll write it in the description and I'll put it up here. Holy cow. But there it is. The original match card from my first live event ever. Damn. So cool to have. So that gets into this last thing I got. It doesn't have to do with this event, but it kind of ties in. So at that event also was my mother's father, my grandfather, on my mother's side, I should say. He lived in Queens, and he would always go to wrestling, probably since the 60s. Who knows? So he was also at that event. He was a little further up than we were, and back then it wasn't sold out. So I remember going up to his seats and he sat in the really, really cheap seats. So he had binoculars with him, old school binoculars, which you don't see anymore because every sporting event now has big screens that you don't need binoculars anymore. That's a thing of the past, binoculars. But apparently, I believe this is from the 90s or the late 80s. Thank you. Please leave feedback. I will. And look at that. They used painter's tape, which is what I always say to use, because when you use scotch tape on bubble wrap, it does not work. Painter's tape comes right off. Smart. I will be using feedback for that. I was saying, apparently in the late 80s and the early 90s, the WWF gave away binoculars, which I never got them. I don't know how people got them, but I've seen a couple of different versions of Hogan ones. I think I saw a Macho Man one as well. And this one I picked up for a good price because they're not cheap, because they're pretty rare. Don't look at the sun, it says. And here we are. Hulk Hogan. Yeah, he's got the 86, 87 title on there. So this is when this came out. So maybe it wasn't the 90s. Now look at that. World Wrestling Federation binoculars. How cool is that? Holy cow, man. Thing of the past. Pretty awesome, man. Until I saw one and then I started looking them up, just typing in WWF binoculars or Hulk Hogan binoculars, I knew nothing about these. But apparently they were given away at shows. So I'm happy to have this, and kind of ties in with my first event because, like I said, my grandfather had binoculars and I used them for a little bit. And one other memory I have from that day is when Hogan's music hit, my dad picked me up so I could see Hogan come out. I'll never forget that. But anyway, all right, guys. I hope everybody had a happy Father's Day. And again, thank you for the continued support. And stay tuned for more videos. Happy Father's Day. Peace.